early 90s, after 91. In 93, immediately after that, 1 year or maybe 2 years, a World Bank delegation was here. And they said they would like to write us a country program. A country program inclusive of development programs, health, education, infrastructure, water, energy, what have you. And we said, why can't we write our program? They said, that is a norm. No one in Africa has written a country program. The World Bank has the authority and it writes the program of everybody else. How can the World Bank know my needs in my house?
Why are there so many media lies told about Eritrea?
Quand j'entends les médias dire que l'Érythrée c'est un pays épouvantable, qu'il n'y a aucune démocratie, ça me rappelle ce qu'ils ont déjà dit sur une série d'autres pays avant pour les diaboliser. Chaque fois qu'un gouvernement essaye de suivre une voie indépendante de la Banque mondiale, du FMI, des multinationales, chaque fois qu'il décide de servir les intérêts de son propre peuple, il va se retrouver diabolisé. On a fait ça pour Cuba, on a fait ça pour le Venezuela, on a fait ça pour la Bolivie. Tout pays qui essaye un développement indépendant et avoir son propre développement, il va se retrouver diabolisé dans les médias.
In my country,
why now they incite and they try to create difficulties for the Eritrean government? Because for simple reason, the Eritrean project, it's not only Eritrean project, it had been a Horn of Africa project that would have been stopped and sabotaged, and Eritrean project continued in an Eritrean level. I see, as an Ethiopian, Eritrean project is not only Eritrean project. It is an African project, it is a Horn of African project, and it is a humanistic project.
And so when Eritrea says we'll be self-sufficient, don't look at it as if it's arrogance. I think this mentality from Europeans and Americans is, you're poor, you're no good, we will feed you. That has to change. If anybody says, listen, yes, I am poor, but I want you to help me help myself, it should be respected. And I think Eritrea is that kind of country.
And that's where many of these conditionalities from the World Bank and the IMF are not conditionalities that have come from the skies. These are conditionalities dictated by special interests.
One of the reasons, apart from the vision of Eritrea have about 1,300 kilometer coast in the Red Sea. Opposite of Saudi Arabia, Yemen, down until the Bab el-Mandeb. Second, Eritrea have more than 300 islands. United States wants a lot of military bases. It have military bases in Djibouti because of its position, but also because of its resources. Now it is discovered in Eritrea. And having also now a lot of wells in the ground and the Indian Ocean, like gas and oil. For this, Western imperialist multinationals, they want to position themselves now in order to control these resources before the competitors can have an access, or the competitor companies from Asia can have an access.
Chaque fois qu'un pays est une cible des États-Unis, soit à cause de ses ressources pétrolières, énergétiques, matières premières, ou alors que c'est un pays qui occupe une position stratégique que les États-Unis veulent contrôler pour contrôler toute une région, des routes maritimes, des axes stratégiques, ce pays et ses dirigeants vont se retrouver diabolisés. Ça se retrouve avant chaque guerre, avant chaque agression.
For me, it's very simple. I know the guys, I know them individually, I at least know who pays them, how they make their earning, how they earn their living, and whom they serve. If they are coming to serve Mr. Soros, that's a different story. If they're coming to serve me, serve the people in the continent, then that's another story. That's the other side of the story.
Il y a derrière les infos qu'on nous donne des choses qui ont été préparées par des experts en communication. En anglais, ça s'appelle psyops, des experts en manipulation psychologique de l'opinion. Et en fait, on croit qu'on reçoit comme ça des infos qui viennent juste d'un journaliste, mais ce que George Soros fait, c'est qu'il finance l'International Crisis Group, Human Rights Watch, Havas, etc. Ces gens-là diffusent des campagnes, des rapports, des informations. Et ce qui est très intéressant, c'est que dans des journaux comme Le Monde, Libération, le New York Times, ou dans les grandes télés comme la BBC, TF1, etc., ces informations sont présentées comme venant d'experts indépendants, à l'International Crisis Group, à un groupe qui s'attache à la prévention des conflits. Ça a l'air magnifique. En réalité, c'est l'argent de Soros qui est derrière, mais ça, on ne va jamais le dire. Ou Human Rights Watch aussi, on ne va jamais dire que c'est l'argent de Soros derrière. Donc en fait, ce que le lecteur, le spectateur doit absolument se rendre compte, c'est que derrière l'info, il y a des intérêts, il y a de l'argent, et il faut toujours se demander qui m'informe et dans quel but.
You repeat it again and again. I say this is part of the tradition they have inherited from Hitler. The propaganda machine of those systems, and particularly Hitler's propaganda machine, one of the most efficient propaganda machines. You manipulate public opinion. You even intoxicate public opinion sometimes, make people don't even question very simple questions. It's illegal. It should be illegal to disinform people. It should be illegal and immoral to manipulate opinion. If you do that, then it's been immoral since millennia. The Bible doesn't allow it. The Quran does not allow it. And morality does not allow it. You can't do that.
Quand les médias et les gouvernements parlent de l'Érythrée, je reconnais tous les symptômes de la préparation d'une agression. Est-ce que ça se fera par une invasion, par un coup d'État, par d'autres manœuvres de guerre civile, que sais-je ? Ça, c'est une chose qu'on ne peut pas dire, mais je reconnais tous les symptômes de la préparation d'une agression. Et il va arriver pour le peuple d'Érythrée ce qui est arrivé en Somalie, en Irak, en Afghanistan, en Libye, ce qui pourrait arriver en Syrie, ça va être la catastrophe. Ou bien on se rend compte que, en fait, on doit laisser les peuples décider eux-mêmes quels dirigeants ils veulent, quel système social ils veulent, à quoi ils veulent consacrer l'argent de leur richesse, et on doit laisser les peuples vivre en paix et se déterminer eux-mêmes sur ce qu'ils veulent.
Because the majority of the Eritrean people are united toward their government and united toward their vision. My understanding as an Ethiopian, and this film can contribute a lot, not only to educate and create a solidarity with the Eritrean people there, but also to educate the peoples of the Horn of Africa. The project we have started in the past, that it is, we, the people of Horn of Africa, we are one. And we want peace. And we want bread for our people. We want also our children to go to school. We want clinics. We want our elderly people to have medicine. We want peace. We are tired. We are asking the international community, if it exists, give us a chance, give a peace. Please don't intervene in our affair. Let us alone. Let us manage alone.
You cannot imagine that one African nation, if at all there was a nation called Ethiopia, could colonize Eritrea. It's a very long story, but to make it short, yes, it was colonialism by proxy. Ethiopia came into being early 19th century, early 20th century, actually. And by design, for colonial powers, Ethiopia was selected as an agent for promoting imperial agendas. This ideology was later on developed to be called the Nixon Doctrine, where imperial powers had to find agents to do their job on behalf of them.
Popular resistance started in the early 1960s, and it subsequently became organized under the banner of the Eritrean People's Liberation Front, the EPLF.
feudal backward Ethiopia does not have the criteria of a colonial power. With its expansionist and colonial ambitions, Ethiopia was used as an instrument for American imperialist interests in Eritrea.
That's where the philosophy comes. It's not novel, but again, is it fighting militarily or going for an armed struggle and becoming independent, or you have to take in mind and be building a nation?
PLF, I can say, was more or less a mini government, because we had, health department, which was really doing fantastic work during the struggle, including very complicated operations. We have very meticulous educational system, and we had the ERA, which was catering for people who were displaced or people who were affected by the war. We have so many institutions, that are typical of any government, for that matter.
The Eritrean Liberation Front is exceptional in one particular regard. They took traditional cultures very seriously. That is to say, in order to mobilize people, you must first understand their social organization, their social structure, if they are stratified, who is on top, who is the downtrodden, their economy, their customary laws, their institutions, all of that. And the failure comes about because and this is really fundamental in terms of our understanding of how culture deals with authority that is alien or authority that is superordinate, high authority, low people. When the pressure is too great, what they do is they go underground. Their culture becomes a covert culture. They do not admit that it even exists. They just go on doing it without the knowledge of the authority in question. And in a way, that is the same as the camouflage behavior of weak animals in the presence of predators. They can actually disappear in the background, and they're not there. They're no longer offensive, nor are they a threat. And so that's what happened.
But one of the positive things of the Eritrean People's Liberation Army was there was this kind of conscientization, the consciousness raising, to demystify the deep-rooted attitude that women are docile, women could not do anything. Women can join any front if need be. That was the motto. And the men was also given kind of lessons together that yes, there is an area that they could do, but the woman can also join and perform it equally. So that kind of this demystifying and consciousness raising was the basic thing. Besides, when after giving the basic training, when assigning people, the female and male population,
have been involved in the activities, and at that time we were working hand in hand. We were treating our injury cases as well as we were treating our patients. Not only treating, but given in the prevention aspects, we were given health education, vaccination, and so on. So we were
an army at the service of the population.
Yes. So the result of that, it is we can look at by now that we have achieved some of our goals.
What they talk about in their Millennium Goals has been in our program for liberation. If you go back to see the program of the EPLF for liberation, you will have the substance of the program is similar or more or less similar to the so-called Millennium Goals.
It was not only military. In fact, the military is more or less a follow-up of what we're doing politically, organizing the people, conscientizing the people, and at the same time making sure that people realize the cause why we're fighting.
In 1974, Emperor Haile Selassie was overthrown. The USSR entered into the imperialist game and supported the new Ethiopian regime. The repression of the Eritrean people toughened and became increasingly violent. But the EPLF continued the armed struggle, at the same time as maintaining its revolutionary objective, aiding, curing, and educating the population, with a view to constructing a new society.
But in 1974, the military junta massacred lots of people around Asmara. And the news got around very quickly. And I think that was, for many, including myself, it was a turning point. We became so intensely angry and so hurt that I think we just began to solidify the sense of nationhood, that it became clear to us at that point that there was no way an Eritrean will ever be able to live peacefully and happily under the Ethiopian domination.
So, yeah, women are peaceful, women are peace-loving and nurturing, but if they are committed to peace, to those who love them, to those who adore them.
Soucieux de ne pas dépendre éternellement de l'aide extérieure, le FPLE a déjà atteint l'autosuffisance sur le plan médical. Il dispose déjà de nombreux cadres de valeur.
Quand j'ai fini mes écoles primaires et secondaires à Addis Ababa, j'ai eu l'occasion d'avoir une bourse pour aller en Bulgarie par le gouvernement éthiopien.
Et aujourd'hui, vous vous battez contre les soviétiques?
Oui, contre les soviétiques, contre les Éthiopiens et ceux qui aident les Éthiopiens.
C'est-à-dire les soviétiques.
So many women before us as Eritrean women have joined in the Liberation Army, be it in the Vietnam, Zimbabwe in Africa, South Africa also. But the difference that we as Eritrean women put was that we were in the front line. We really fought the Ethiopian soldiers, and what the Ethiopian soldiers said at that time was, God give me mercy from the Eritrean woman fighter.
So this means the country needed a land reform, and that the other social class, the bourgeoisie, was not strong enough to make this reform and give the lands and organize it.
For the first time, the reform was done by the EPLF.
Yes.
And finally, after it became a government also, that kind of each Eritrean, every Eritrean must have access to land, so that...
it's a land reform for justice.
Exactly.